Alrighty.
Let's see. It's probably starting right now, but it's loading. I wait till the camera pop up.
Alrighty. Yeah, see, we live on YouTube, so that's cool.
All right. Right now.
Oh, yeah, so we're streaming live on your YouTube page.
All right. Huh? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Close that out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of fuzzy, but I can hear you, though. I can make out what you're saying.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is the Urban Mastermind University on YouTube. I'm here with Lewis Gordon, and we're live. Give me a couple seconds. I'm going to share this on Facebook, and we'll get with you. The topic of discussion is entrepreneurship. Is it worth it? So just give me 1 second while I share. And Lewis, you might can introduce yourself.
All righty. My name is Lewis Gordon, and I'm the founder of the 1099 Network. And I have a group or organization. What I do is I promote entrepreneurship. And my whole thing is to expose as many people as possible to the benefits of being an entrepreneur. So I'm on here today. I want to discuss the pros and the cons and my experience as far as it relates to entrepreneurship. So thank you for having me, Curtis. And
no problem, man. No problem. You know, here I want to discuss different topics, and entrepreneur is definitely a topic that is meant to be discussed because, you know, we can work all our lives and work for somebody, but you really don't have freedom unless you get, you know, be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So,
definitely.
While I'm trying to get this set up, can you tell me your story, your journey on being an entrepreneur?
My journey kind of came out of necessity. It's like I've been an entrepreneur for years, for the past years, and dabbling in different businesses, and it really came out of necessity. Like I've tried the traditional route, and I've tried going, you know, working for the traditional companies, and it's just some with me. I don't know. I've made the leadership within me, or it's just something with me. And it's not that I can't I can't follow orders or nothing. I wouldn't say that. It's just that I've never felt right with the fact that no matter how hard I work, or no matter how hard I'm only gonna get just say if I was getting paid I don't even know what minimum wage. We say $12 an hour. So you mean to tell me no matter how hard I work or no matter what kind of effort I put in, at the end of the day, I'm set to, what's that, like $96 or 12 times 8 is $96. And then at the taxes, you know, depending on what, so at the tax, you know, it might bump down to 85 or whatever. I'm not sure depending on the tax, but even $96, that just never set right with me. And I can remember working for a company, Bed Bath & Beyond, and I remember, and they did this as a way to motivate, but to me, it was the most demotivating thing ever. Like they used to have the team meetings every morning. Mm-hmm. Used to be, like, rah, we made $30,000 yesterday, or rah, we made $40,000, and I keep up the great job. And you know, I'm looking at my check, like, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, you know, every 2 weeks at that, mind you, and it'll be about $500. And I'm saying, you know, and I remember those meetings, like, wait a minute, but the boss just counted. Well, we made $250 grand. And you mean I only got $500 out of so that's when I knew right then, like, oh yeah, this wasn't going. And then the way they encourage you to, it's like a privilege to work overtime, like and it's like, you know what I mean, like you should be in time, like you should be jumping. I used to see cats and I used to work overtime too, just to increase my but that's not nothing I don't feel you should be happy about, because that's less time with your family, that's less time doing the things that you really love. And you know, the bosses, I've never seen the owner. I've never even met the owner of that company, Bed Bath & Beyond, and some of the other companies. And, you know, even so much the supervisors, like, well, yeah, it's mandatory overtime. What fact really rubbed me the wrong way when they said it was mandatory. It's like, because I got to the point too, it's like, you know what, man, I'm spending time with my family. I don't give a damn about this overtime. You know, it's not going to make a difference. My wage is so low that it wouldn't make a difference. By the time I did get my check, and by the time I'm working 2 jobs to survive, and You know, so I was like, and then it's like, well, no, this is mandatory. You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Either get here or you lose your job. And that's like, nah, that's when I knew that like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Like working with somebody else ain't gonna work. And it's like, and no, and I see people, it's like, oh, well, I want to get on salary, and I want to get on. They get excited about salary, and they get excited about, oh yeah, I want to get a salary. Basically, if you're an hourly employee, you pretty much salary, because especially at the low end on the totem pole, if you're not a management or a supervisor, they capping you off, and no matter how hard you work or no matter what, and they used to ask us, well, come up, give us ideas or give us if you have any ways for us to improve our company, to improve revenue, let us know. And if you do, you're not getting compensated for that. Like, you know, when I was a Starbucks, like, help us create new drinks, or you guys put your brains together and see, what can we do to get to increase our sales. And I like how they include the R part into the R until it's time to divide the money. Then it's like, oh, wait a minute, don't, you know what I mean? It's like, now here you getting crumbs or you getting pennies. And not only that, it's like they expect you, is like something you should be I should be jumping for joy. Or I should be privileged to do this. Like, like another thing I noticed is when like I said, I've always had jobs where I come in and I was like on the lowest man on the totem pole. So, and initially when I had that kind of the employee mindset is like, okay, I'm coming in, I'm gonna do whatever. I work my way up, and I was disillusioned to think, hey, I can get in, I'm gonna work my way hard, I'm gonna go back to school and maybe become a manager, or you know, just really and I can remember working at a Home Depot in the paint department, and I can remember like busting my butt. And the manager, you know, the manager or the supervisor, man, he came in and was like, it seemed I was the only one in the department because they had trouble keeping people there. As you can imagine, you only making $9 an hour, so the turnover rate was high. Right. And I can remember like I'm sweating and busting. You know, he used to always, and the one thing about that is like nothing's never good enough. You can always work faster. You can always, even the nights when I did like getting in there, busting my butt, knock my thing out. It's like you were never done. You can go out to the parking lot and sweep the parking lot, or you go over here and help. Like when that type of job, you're never done. So they always have something for you. But your pay ain't gonna increase. It's like whether you can go to the bathroom and you know, wipe down the sink. It's like whether you feel it's your job description or not, they're gonna have something for you to do. And I noticed the manager was like, you know, it'll be nights there where I'll be completely overwhelmed, especially in the summer. And it's like he'll walk right by you, and you know, it's like he cracking the rib. It's like move faster, harder. But I noticed not one time did he ever bother to you know, get out there and help me. You know, and I mentioned that to him. I don't get paid for that, and so I don't get paid. My job is to tell you what to do. And so yeah, that right there is like, oh yeah, that you know what I mean? Like, nah, that's and I'm thinking I don't get paid enough to take. So that was the process. Since then I've been able to like create different opportunities, and I love the freedom that comes. Well, it's not always easy being an entrepreneur, but however, it's like now it's not. I'm getting paid for my potential though. I'm getting paid for what I'm worth. It's not no cap, you know what I mean? There's no cap on no matter how hard you work and no matter how hard. And when you're doing that for somebody, it's subjective. Like when you're doing that for a corporation, it's how they feel you. You know, you might have felt you gave your best effort and you busted. And depending on how your manager feels about you or whatnot, it's, you know, that's all subjective. He's like, oh, well, I didn't feel you broke out enough. So yeah. So what do you do?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And what I see a lot is you can bust your butt 8-10 hours and maybe the last minute you're tired and you stop for a second and the manager walk by, oh, you ain't been working all day. You know,
right. Right.
You know, they always
right. And that the morale. Right. That was the thing. Like, you know, they did so many things to demotivate you, to me, like to kill your morale. It was like, it was crazy. Like you said, like, at least for the companies I work for, in my experience, it was like, nah, this is more like a slap in the face. Yeah. And I've never, you know what I mean? I can imagine like being, I'm pretty sure our ancestors had it harder, you know, on a plantation, but I likened that to being that like a modern day plantation. It's like, you know, he'll come around with the whip and he cracking, like you said, God forbid he catch you taking a break or or what you call, like, you know, a 10-second break or something. It's like you cracking the whip, like you said, oh, you ain't did right. And it's like it was never enough. Like none of your efforts was never enough. Nothing you did, nothing you came in on your day off, or you came. It was never enough. So with that, I was like, I got rubbed the wrong way a lot. And now I'm encouraging my kids and my sons, like, hey, you think, you know what I mean? You can think. And then I don't get. I've had a hard time, even for the people. I'm not because, you know, some people are made to be employees and or whatever, and they're comfortable and they don't. That's fine, and that's your lane. And hey, I'm not against no one, but I don't get, like, I'm gonna go to school for 4 years and rack up 60,000, 100,000 in debt now, and I'm gonna come work for your company when I know this is what I went to school for. And now I'm going to come and work for the, and then I'm supposed to be privileged. Or I'm supposed to feel privileged or honored that you allowed me to work in your company, and I get to slave for you for 20 years or 30, when we know technically the same. And a lot of times I've seen, like, some of the founders, you might have had more experience in that chosen industry than when you trace it back, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, he opened his first hardware store with his last savings money, and he grew it to this. Or he opened his coffee shop with his last little. And you find out you have more schooling than he does, and now he or she, and you're working to please them, to feed their family, and it's like that the big piece of the pie, and they're cutting you off the littlest piece, you know what I mean, the little sliver they can by law, and you're supposed to be satisfied or happy with that. So
basically, you know, building their dream, and I
exactly.
I like to pause for a second, and I like to tell everybody, if you can like, subscribe, and share, and that'd be much appreciated. We're passing on some good knowledge and some discussion. Right now we have Rebecca Monique, the tax bae, up in the building. I don't know if you can hear us, but how you doing today? She might be on mute. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
Good, how are you? Can you see me?
Yeah, now. We see you now.
There we go. We can see you now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to jump in real quick, because I actually have to get back to work myself, being an entrepreneur. I got things I have to handle. Some clients came through last minute for me, and I got some crypto calculations I need to do. But how you guys doing this evening?
Oh, we ran in 2018 grind mode.
Right.
Yes, very busy.
Yeah, I know you stay long, so I'll ask you a couple of questions. So, what was your moment of, hey, I got to be an entrepreneur, and what was your story?
I would really have to say it kind of just fell into my lap, because before even deciding to be an entrepreneur, I was still trying to figure out exactly where was I going to be. And I ended up leaving a federal when I started working for myself, and the position kind of just fell into my lap, because I applied for a job giving me the salary I wanted. So they were like, well, we could pay you what you want and plus a little bit more, but it would have to be 1099, so you wouldn't get any benefits or anything else. And I was really scared to do that, because I would have to pay for my own health insurance and stuff like that. And, you know, when you have to pay for your own office, that doesn't really sound attractive. But I actually ended up doing some research on it and something that I could fit within that salary range. And then I just said, okay, let me try it. Let me go for it. And it ended up being a good experience. It was a really short-term contract. I think it was about 6 months, but it was pretty good. And from there, I said, I really like not having to, I'm in control of my work. As long as my deadlines are met, everything is fine. I could take on more than one client if I wanted to. So that was awesome. So that's where I really came from with the whole entrepreneur side.
That's cool. And I get, being an entrepreneur, I could say it's like it's empowerment. You don't have to answer to a man about what time you start, what time you end. It's freedom. What you guys think?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
If you have on direct clients, like some of my clients, so it depends on what projects I'm on. I have to be there at a certain time, so it's still kind of like going to a job depending on what type of contract it is. But you know, when I'm doing taxes for tax season, or I'm doing regular accounting for my other clients, I pretty much, you know, put my son on the bus in the morning for school, then maybe take like, you know, an hour to get myself together and then pop open the computer and start working. And the best part about it too is because I tend to be up, you know, late at night. So if I needed to, then I can go ahead and work at 10 o'clock at night, and I won't have those, oh, you have to be in the building, you have to be out of the building by this time, you have to be in the building by this time. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, definitely. And it holds you accountable. Like, if nothing else, it holds you. It really puts your because now you know it's like, hey, if I don't get up and it makes you prioritize. Basically, that's what I meant to say. It makes you prioritize. It makes you really what do you have to get, because ultimately you're responsible for everything at that point. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, if I don't get out and get this done, and we're not gonna eat. So if you have a family depending on you, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, you really hold your feet to the fire, so to say. So yeah, I definitely find that I definitely
and it's
find
going to
that
be challenging. I think anybody that's trying to go into entrepreneurship, they definitely need to know, like you said, since you're being held accountable, you know, if your client is unhappy with your work, if you don't do your work on time, or whatever it is, you know, if you don't produce whatever you agree to produce for your client, they'll be unhappy and they won't refer people to you. They'll stop coming to you, and you know, then that's the end of your entrepreneurship.
Right. And with entrepreneurship, what I like is the harder you work, the more you benefit from it. Whereas like the corporate job, blue collar job, the harder you work, you don't get the benefit. You know, the boss might get the benefit and he get a bonus and stuff like that. You go home limping and stuff like that, tired, and he next day, hey, we want you to work even harder.
Right, exactly. Right. And it's like I've seen jobs that I kind of like being in control of my own destiny. So like I don't want to wake up one day and the boss, oh, like, okay, they might have been making 40 million this year and now they're making 35 million. So as a result, you getting laid off, or you getting you know what I mean? I don't want to be at nobody's mercy. I've never liked being at somebody else's mercy or like that. And that, to me, I find that more nerve-wracking than actually doing because I don't, like I said, I rarely ever do I know the CEO of the company, or I have ever met the CEO or the people who really making decisions about whether I have a job or not. I mean, you know, your performance to somewhat dictate whether you have a job or not. Don't get me wrong, but I've had jobs to where it wasn't based on my performance was doing good, and like I said, oh well, we were making 50 million last year. This year we only made 45 million. So you got to go. And I'm like, oh, hell, I only made 20,000. I'm struggling. I'm making 20, 30,000. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? You got to get the act. So I don't want to be at nobody's mercy like that no more. Like, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, so,
and I feel that because I've been in a meeting where, yeah, we would give you a raise this year, but we got such and such expense and y'all need to do better. And everybody around, listen, y'all the one make a decision to do this. That's why we're losing money. But now you blaming me. You affecting my income, my family. I'm like, really?
Right. And your family's depending on that. That's right. Especially if you got kids. If you in high school or this, you know what I mean? You don't have much. That's a lot riding on it. Or you still staying with somebody. That's, you know, maybe you can get by with something like that. But to be at somebody else's mercy and beck and call like that, and nah, I can't do. That's too troubling. Like the last time that happened to me, I was on the chopping block. I was like, nah, I can't. And you know, the job tried to call me back a few months later. It's like, oh, we found more room in the budget. You walk in the company. Like, no, thank you. I don't want to be like. Nah, I actually felt that was more disrespectful than
Yeah, like, you should have been like, pay me double the salary and I'll come back.
Right. So I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I don't. And like I said, they find ways to demotivate you. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you with the one company with Bed Bath, and we made 20,000 today, and you know, and I'm only making $9 an hour. I'm like, who is we? So you know what I mean? I was, you know what I mean? I'm like, my check don't reflect that. So you know, and you know, when you get your bonus, you get a quarter. you get a 25 cent raise. And when you question them, it's like, oh, well, we have all these others, or you got to understand we have 100 employees, and you still do the math, and that still don't equate to $50 million, what you guys claim you make annually. So I don't want to be like, I don't want to be, I would, like you said, I would much rather be paid for my performance, or
and
no salary cap.
Yeah. And that, with corporate America, their job is to make them the most money and pay you the least and get the most work out of you. Climbing that ladder is basically working extra harder for less money. You're getting money, but it's not worth your time and effort that you put into it. So no matter what, they're thinking about, we got the shareholders. The shareholders, not about the employees. The one that's really doing the work. So,
and then just to jump in on that, we're talking about shareholders. Well, that's where the whole investment piece comes in. They're going to try to make enough money for their shareholders, because the shareholders are the ones that's buying the stock and investing in the company. So, of course, they want to turn that money around. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, people that work get taxed the most when you put them up in relation to investors. Investors get taxed at a lesser rate than someone who's working. And you see that the companies are trying to do what they can for their shareholders. That's like even more of a positive area to be like, okay, what can I invest in? What's going to give me a greater return, and everything else like that.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So y'all just tuning in. This is the Urban Mastermind University. You can like and subscribe. I got the pillar right there that you can do. Share with your friends. Pass some information, and we like to continue making videos like this. And what you saying, Lewis?
To add to what Rebecca was saying, is like none of the jobs I had is like, by the time they took taxes, like I said, I've always had to work 2 jobs just to survive, to pay your rent, and especially living in the Bay Area. So it was nothing left to invest. And I think that they keep the wages like that, and they keep the to keep everything in order and everything in check. Like because like she said, if you were making enough to where you could invest, or if you had other options, the turnover rate probably would be a lot higher. Or as opposed to let's give them just enough to where they can till they barely can, just enough food to they can eat. Not enough, or no more, no less. And and that's so.
I do see some companies are now, I think they're starting to understand. I mean, this is a big discussion depending on what ways you want to look into it. But I was just talking to somebody about the economy today, and the money flows around in a circle. So from one person to another person to another person to another person, if one part of that circle stops having money, stops receiving money, they're not able to pay the next people, who are then not able to pay the next people, who are then not able to pay the next people, and so on and so forth. So I think companies are starting to be a lot more aware of that. You have happier employees when they're paid more, which, a lot of them want to still do whatever they can to keep wages low, because that is a business expense and everything else, and they want to be profitable. But also at the same time, people can't live off of certain amount of things. And I guess we can say, well, go to school, get a better degree, and all this other stuff. That's definitely a whole nother topic and conversation. But generally speaking, like, if someone can't live, so they have to get 2 to 3 jobs just to make a living, that compromises their health. It compromises their family's well-being. They're not coming to work happy. So I actually see, and I live in the DC area, and I see a lot more people that are going the entrepreneurial way. They have their daytime jobs, but they're also doing something on the side. They're people that have different degrees. They're trying to use their degrees to start their own businesses and become entrepreneurs and everything else. So when I say this, the competition is very stiff out here when it comes down to entrepreneur, but it's I do see it growing, and I like seeing that people are trying to take charge of their futures versus having a job dictate how far they're going to get. So there needs to be a balance, though.
Yeah, I think it's all about.
I think a lot of the companies. Oh, sorry, Cody. I think a lot of with the rise of like Uber and Lyft and a lot of 1099s here in the Bay Area, they had to pay more because like who wants to work at I'm not gonna throw no. But who wants to work at one of these companies now when I'm only gonna make $12 an hour when I can go out for Uber and Lyft and work when I want? I don't, I don't have to dictate. You 1 minute I'm working graveyard, the next minute I'm working swing shift, and then it's daytime, and then I'm only making $12 an hour. Now I can with all these other 1099, they have so many of them popping up that they were having a hard time recruiting employees here. So I think it's starting to it's the pool that they were pulling from is like it's kind of thin out a little bit. So now I definitely see like some of the companies they raised the minimum wage up to $15. It used to be like 12, so I think that they raised it up to 15 an hour. And that was in response to like all the 1099 because more of the employees that they used to would have had begging as opposed to like, hey, I used to beg, I'm begging for this job, I'm begging for. Now it's like, hey, I can go cut my phone on, and it's like what's a world of opportunity. So with the rise of all the 1099, it kind of forced them to do the right thing or to an extent. So I think that's really, I think that was a positive thing. I think that was a positive thing.
So that's good. Let me ask you this. All right, so people tuning in, they don't know where to start. They're tired of their 9-to-5 job. They want to be an entrepreneur. What suggestion or solution would you have for them?
I would say they need to do some market research, number one, and really understand, what type of, after they've identified what product or service they want to provide, then they need to do some market research to see what is the need for it. I think successful entrepreneurs are the ones that respond to the needs of the market. So if someone needs some sort of weird service done and not too many people do it, that's probably an area you want to get into, so that you can develop your own customers, followings, and everything else. I've been an entrepreneur now for 1.5 years, and my business, I formally formed my LLC in 2 weeks. My company's birthday is July 28th in 2 weeks. So it was a learning experience for me, and it's still a learning experience for me. But generally speaking, I did a lot of research. I used my background. So I'm an accountant, auditor, tax knowledge by trade. So I used all that to form my own business. Spoke with a lot of people. I actually worked underneath other people because in my profession, you need formal training, and I kind of hesitate on people that don't actually have it. So I did training. I went out there, I saw what could I do. I talked to other people, started looking into niche ideas, which is why I came up with the whole cryptocurrency. Not too many people were looking at it back in August, July last year when I started looking at it. I know there were other tax preparers that were doing it, but definitely not in my area. I was one of the first that got listed on Bitcoin.tax for cryptocurrency CPAs. And from there, it kind of just took off, which I'm very thankful for. If cryptocurrency wasn't a thing and I was still doing this trajectory, what I would be doing is still balancing out my 1099 positions while I develop my client base. I did a lot of network marketing. I would pay to go to different conferences and different trade shows and all that other stuff just to go meet people and pass out my business cards. It's a lot of networking. Unless you have some sort of product that everybody wants or some sort of need that you're fulfilling, it's a grind. And it's more than an 80-hour-a-week grind, because technically every time I go out in public, I'm talking about my business, I'm talking about myself. And as an introvert, I really don't like doing all that much talking. But if I want to have clients and if I want to establish a client base, I have to have people know me. Something I've heard, which I firmly believe in, people buy from you if they like you. So if they don't like you, they're not going to give you their money. True. So, if I want to become someone's accountant, I have to show them that I'm qualified to do the job and I can help them, and I have to understand their needs, and I have to make them feel understood. So I take a lot of time. My clients and we talk on the phone for 30 minutes to an hour. And that's time that I'm investing in them and investing in what our relationship, so that it deepens and they'll want to work with me further. But yeah, I guess to answer your question, do a lot of research on whatever you're selling, or what service you're providing. Do the research, see the people that you want to go after, go to sales groups and learn how to close. I'm not a closer. I really don't like selling to people. I like telling them, hey, if you need this, come see me. So that way it's their choice and they don't feel like they're being sold. But I do believe, a part of being an entrepreneur is learning how to sell and learning how to close a sale. I'm not good at it. That's why I'd rather just say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I can do for you. If you want to talk further, let's talk further. If you're not interested, got it. So maybe, I don't know how far am I going to get in the entrepreneur world like that. But I mean, I've gotten some people so far that have been pleased.
Well, it's growing pains. You learn, you make mistakes, and you get blessed through your hard work. And like I do an interruption right now. Cedric, he was right here. I was going to introduce him, probably to log back in. But I'll tell you my personal story with entrepreneurship. My first experience was buying candy at the grocery store in high school and with my book bag and selling it to the kids. I was like, hey, I could sell this for profit. So I was making a little, hustle and stuff like that. Other kids, they were selling drugs, stuff like that. I didn't want to go that route. I might be vlogging from a prison cell right now. But so when I got that taste, and I was like, yeah, I like this. And so after that, I went on eBay, and I'll tell you the story. I had bought some costume jewelry, and it was like a little box, like that big, and it had cubic zirconium rings, real shiny, stuff like that. So at my job, I'm like, hey, I got these rings I'm selling, if y'all want it. And what I didn't know was that most of the rings were small size. So the lady was like, I like it, but it won't fit. It won't fit my finger and this and that. But a couple of them did. So I was making like 50-60% profit off these rings I'm selling. I'm like, oh man, I love this, And then I started selling grilled cheese sandwiches and chips and soda at work, and everything. And it's that entrepreneurship. You got that freedom. You ain't got somebody telling you, hey, you can't add this to it. You got to be this way. And it's really empowerment. Because I think we're designed to, work our gifts. And entrepreneurship, you're talking, you're socializing with a 9-to-5 job. You got to do what they tell you to do. You got to clock in this time, you got to clock out that time. I would love to get to a point where I can just wake up when I want to wake up, when the sun come up, and then I wake up, but as long as you're, basically in corporate America, you got to, do what they say.
So can I throw this in there real quick? I just, because this is something else, another idea that came up, and since we're talking about entrepreneurship, it really feels out here. I personally feel like jobs are necessary, right? I think that's where people get the background, they get the experience, they got a lot of training. I used to be in a lot of different customer service type jobs. I was a bookie for a sports betting place, probably the biggest one in the country. So you probably know what it is if you look it up. But I used to be a sports bookie. So I'd, come across people betting on horses, people betting on dogs, people betting on all sorts of things. I worked at a bank. So tons of customer service related experience there. And I believe that as an entrepreneur, that's something that's needed, because again, people, if they like you, they're going to buy from you. And if you're a person that's rude, curt, don't understand how to talk to people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you're gonna have a hard time building up your clientele. So I feel like jobs, especially when you're younger, jobs are very, very necessary to get into and learn from and build the background. And once you become experienced and what you're doing, even if you're selling something or if you're giving a service, once you get to that point, then entrepreneurship will be easier to transition to, because you have already developed the background skills, you know how to do customer service and everything else like that. So it'll be easier for you to transfer into entrepreneurship that will keep your business going. And so and again, I feel like there needs to be a balance, because if everybody's an entrepreneur, you know, I feel like there always has to be a balance. There can't be like everybody's working for somebody and no entrepreneurs, but I also feel like everybody can't be an entrepreneur and there are no jobs. I feel like there should be a balance.
Yeah, and I think that billions of people in the world, everybody not gonna fit this shoe of being an entrepreneur. You're always gonna have people that just want to do a job and just listen to somebody else. You know, I think it's a breed. You got to really it's be in your DNA. You know, hey, you see the world different. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But let me introduce King Cedric. He's up in the building. Had a little technical difficulties. How you doing this morning or today?
Doing well. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right, great. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. So we talking about entrepreneurship, and I'll put you on the spotlight. What do you feel? Do you feel entrepreneurship is worth it?
Yeah, man, it's definitely worth it, man. So we had a man-to-man meeting last night at my church, and one of the discussions that came up was the fact that the old model that we used to live by, whereas they talk about my generation, which is the millennials, not having quote unquote work ethic. But, I kind of spoke up for all kind of millennials as if, the model and the system that we always kind of went by, go to college for 4 to 8 years and hope that you can find a job to pay this $100,000 back and then enjoy your life when you get 70. And that model, which has worked, but the time is different now. So you got to kind of adjust with the time, and it's not really working anymore. And so as far as like entrepreneur aspect, I think everyone in their own right is an entrepreneur, because when you think about it, entrepreneur is just literally being able to solve a problem, finding a gap and filling it, and people will pay you for it. And so it could be something as simple as, whether you have children or you're just into like sports or little league games, people are going to be out there enjoying themselves. At some point, you're going to want something to drink and eat. So if you can fill that gap, you now then solve a problem for someone, thus, receiving a reward in return. So essentially, we all can solve some type of problem on some level to, compensate, our finances or just explore that dream that we always wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I wanted to add to because there's a difference between a job and a career. So like if you can't get in a job and think you're gonna turn this into your career. Absolutely. McDonald's is a job. Unless you're a management or like you now, if you're going to college, you're usually going to college for a career. And I think it's backwards for you to go to college and rack up all that debt just to get a job, so to say, and you don't have a career. If you ain't gonna be able to buy a house off the company you're working for, or if you're gonna have to work at two of them just to survive, then you have a job. And I don't know if that's productive. There's so many other options you can be doing.
Absolutely.
And like you said, with eBay, Amazon, you can affiliate marketing, hell, Uber. There's so many other options you could be doing as opposed to working a job for your whole life and then or trying to turn your job into your career. So that's what I think people make the mistake at is trying to make their job their career and trying working 2 or 3 jobs to try to make it. And that's so if you're going to school for a career, then your degree is going to land you a career, then heck, more power to you. But I see too many people going and landing a job. It's like you went to college to do that. It's like, now you 100,000 in debt and you think life sucks or whatever. And that to me, that's backwards. So
but sometimes, man, to be honest, King, is just like society, like everybody is almost like they're in the same race, and you got like 200 people competing from this career that you decided that you was going to get, that will come out of this degree that you went to school for. So you can't sit back. I kind of get it, but then I don't get it. Like you can't sit back and not do anything to provide for your family. But it's just the market is just so competitive, man. It's just like you gotta do something. So even though you didn't go to school for 4 years to get a job, but if you can't find something in your field or your niche or your realm of expertise, You know, you got to do something to provide for your family, keep the lights on. But at the same time,
Right.
we got to focus on and just achieving and chasing our dreams and goals, because we'll be working to fulfill someone else's. You know, and that's essentially all the job. That's someone's idea that we help them bring their vision to pass, because we're not willing to work on ours and give it our all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like in
Right.
between. So I have like my own fitness business, but I still work full time too. It's almost like I'm transitioning off into plantation little by little, right? But at the same, but at the same time, I do realize I have to continue to work, if not harder, for my own, more than I do like for my employer.
Mm-hmm.
And basically having a goal out, like, so I'm working full time, but I have goals outside of just my job, because if I don't, I'll go crazy. I see so many things going on at my job. I'm like, don't focus on that.
Yeah.
Focus on your entrepreneurship, because there's a lot of people at my job, they don't have goals. They come in miserable, go home miserable, come back miserable, and they complain about this and they complain about that because they don't have no vision. They don't have any goals. Every day you got to work toward your goal, your vision, and if you don't do that, you're lost in the game, because the corporation game is pay you enough. You have to come back the next day. You want to go on vacation, you got to do overtime, and so you steady making them extra money, but you going in debt. And then don't let me get on to a consumerism where they tell you buy this, buy that, getting in debt with this. If you don't take a step back and realize, be simple minded and realize the game that they're playing, you get trapped your whole life. Retire. You got to retire when you're 80 years old because your 401k done dipped because the stock market. So you have to break free of that cycle. If you don't ever break free of that cycle, they got you. You're trapped in the game.
Correct. Yeah.
I think with the rise of the internet, though, there's a lot more opportunity than it was 10 or 20 years ago. But you got Amazon, you got eBay, you can sell on Walmart now. You can sell just with e-commerce alone is a big. If you're not a people, I know people making 100,000 just from affiliate marketing, promoting somebody else's product. And they, if you're on Facebook all day, or you got to follow on social media. Utilize your talents to whatever extent you have. Like, you really be open-minded and broad, and utilize. If you're on social media all day, you can find a way to monetize that. Or if you like the brother was saying, like if you this kid sport, there's a way to monetize that. I think that there's this is be open-minded and don't be narrow-minded, so to say. Like there's opportunity all around you. You just got to discover it. It's not going to discover you. You got to even if you do it by accident. Even if you do it by accident, it's opportunity all around you. So if you just take advantage of it, and it's waiting there, it's out there waiting for you to take advantage of it. So, or else it's gonna take advantage of you. And so that's what I think is the main thing I want to touch on.
So let me ask this question.
Another thing I think too, man, a lot of times I think we don't really tap into. I like what you said too, King, about the e-commerce. Man, e-commerce is huge right now, but I think a lot of things we don't really tap into is utilizing all our gifts. You know what I mean? Is like we all know, we might have an auntie, man, that can bake a sweet potato pie out this world, King. Right. Or we might have a cousin that could cut hair, or an uncle that he never had went to school, but he could fix a transmission like ain't no tomorrow. And so all these are just assets that we had that we can, use to like build wealth for our families. You know what I'm saying? For those that, are not really to swim in that entrepreneurial water, or not really ready to venture and do their own thing, but we still have a lot of different options we can do to, just I say tap into that wealth resource. But I definitely love what you said, man, about e-commerce, because that's something that I have been asking God to open the door for me, to help me to dive into that world myself, to really tap into the online fitness industry, to really so that I can reach more people versus being in the gym all the time once I leave my current job or what have you. And I know that if I can build that audience as well as email base, I can really touch a lot of people with that. And then I don't know, in the gym 24/7, I could be right in my bedroom, and then be doing a Zoom meeting with like 25 of us doing squats at the same time,
right?
Are you familiar with Brandon Carter, brother? King Cedric?
What's that?
Brandon Carter?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Brandon Carter. Yeah.
You know, so you know his story and everything, right? Or how he so that is like you said, it's opportunity, and you may not necessarily know how to do something, but you can leverage. I might not know how to. It's like just the same thing as middleman, and like if you, I might not know how to fix the transmission, but if my uncle do, I can. We'll say what? How about if I put an ad on Craigslist and I'm gonna put that out. You know what I mean? And every customer I bring you can. Bam! I can get a cut off of that, or like you say, you can cut it. You can leverage your. You can leverage right. Even whether you know it, whether you know how to do it or not. You can middleman or leverage your way to an opportunity, and still be just as lucrative. Until you figure out what's what work for you. So what work for you. So and that's definitely I take advantage of it.
Oh, I will, man. You're right. You're absolutely right too.
And what I want to say.
I wasn't talking to you directly, brother. Sorry about that.
And what I want to say about entrepreneurship, Rebecca, before she left, she had to go, but she made a good point about going to conferences, and you got it. Now you could get the free information, but if you're really serious, you got to put up a little dough to get the deep information. Because people are really doing it, they're not just gonna give it away free. You got to pay your dues in order really to get more information and really be successful. What y'all think about that?
Oh man, I definitely agree. But I feel like, man, if our own personal development is one of the best investment we can ever make, man. Like we should never stop growing and learning. Like just because we're not in school, there's no excuse not to learn, man. It's the readers that's leaders, man. And I credit, my appetite, man, and hunger for like knowledge and wisdom, for me, giving me like, I feel like that competitive edge in my field and in life, man, to just be motivated and to dominate everything I put my hands on, is because I know a lot of people that look like us, King, they not gonna really, let me show you how to get it this way, or let me teach you how to invest so you can set your family up for 5 generations. So I had to kind of be Black Robin Hood on the low and just get the information and then you apply it, of course, and then share it with like cool people like you that was, that wanted and that was on the same level.
I agree.
Right. That's why I founded the 1099 network, to expose people, because a lot of people don't know what affiliate marketing is, or you can sell stuff on Amazon, or you can sell stuff on eBay, or retail arbitrage, or it's like a ton of different opportunities. And so so if you don't know, you limited to what so you got to get out there. And like to add to what you said, if you're gonna go to school and rack up all that debt, brother, I'd much rather buy your course if it's something that I'm interested in. If I want to learn about affiliate marketing, because nowadays they have a course for everything, brother. Right at the hand of your phone. It's right. People on their phones like 90% of the time anyway. So it's right in the palm of your hands. If you might have to look, and you might have to dig and search around, but they got Udemy, if there's a course out there for you to where you don't have to go to school in 4 years, or not to say that's is anything wrong. That's the route you want to take, but there's no reason now. It's not like it was about 20 years ago where you had to go to the library and dig through, and it's right in the palm of your hands. Everything you need to, or almost everything you need to know. So it's really no excuse for you not to. And you might, like you said, you might have to pay if you're gonna go spend because people care about their appearance. So you know what I mean. I see brothers all the time. Oh, I'm not paying for the, but you got a $300 pair of shoes, or you got an $800 phone. Exactly. You may have to just prioritize what you feel is important. It's an investment. Look at it this way. So if you like, and there's nothing wrong with the brothers who like wearing $1,000 pair of shoes or $1,000 phones. That's the lifestyle you like to live. By you investing in this course or attending that networking opportunity, that's going to continue to be able to sustain for you to have that lifestyle if that's what you're into. It's an investment in yourself. And so the more you invest in yourself, the further you go. So that's
what me and King Curtis always talk about all the time. Like, it's nothing wrong with having nice things, man, and getting nice things for your family. But, you shouldn't have to work 25 jobs to do that. But if you got performing assets that paying you and paying for those luxuries, enjoy your fruits of your labor, man. That's what life is all about, enjoying yourself and being able to not just to be blessed, but be blessed to be a blessing, to other people as well as your own family. But King Lewis, I want to ask you a question real quick, King. So like with the affiliate marketing, I've heard of it, never really did too much research in it. When you as far as like the leverage part of it, do you utilize it with like Facebook advertisement, or it's more like your own personal Instagram, or you build and create a website and then kind of sync it to that page?
It depends what you you're marketing, brother. It depends on who your target audience is. Like because they like pretty much is an affiliate product for everything that you had to offer, brother. So like if
I'm a fitness guy, I'm into the whole supplement industry, everything.
Definitely, that's big, and that's actually one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest industries. And so like so like if you have a following on Facebook, and most of the people or anywhere you're following, how you reach, you can they have companies out there. It's like they'll especially in the supplements, like hey, they'll give you a link, and you know what I mean. You can put this on your page, and they'll give you what 30% of. It's like you can tell people, hey, I'm drinking, especially if it's a product you already use. Like for me, I use Fiverr, or if it's a product you already use and you know it's good. 9 times out of 10, that company has an affiliate offer. If you go to their webpage, scroll down, it's like become a partner or affiliate offer, and you can, you know what I mean. You won't get the link, and bam, you know, since you, especially if you're telling people to, you know, because a lot of people do it inadvertently, tell their friends, hey, go buy this, or go, I got this great product, go try this out, and their friends, and they tell a friend, and if you're gonna do that, you might as well, you know, become an affiliate of that company and get paid for it.
Absolutely.
And get paid. You can do it right from your Facebook page, or right from. You can even set up a web page, but you can do it right from where you start. Your Instagram, your Facebook, or anywhere you can get that link out to them. It's spread the word to it. They're like, man, and blast it every day, and you can get paid for it. So there's people making hundreds of thousands. Amazon have a whole affiliate thing. Amazon have a whole their affiliate thing is big. So. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that a lot in my group, and how to do that, and how to and even with the Google AdWords content, like it's a ton of opportunity out here.
I'm familiar with that one. Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
And you can just kick back and not kick back, so to say, but you can put it on autopilot once you get it set up, and bam, and that you don't physically have to you know, trade your labor for, trade your time for. You can still work on another project and have that coming in.
Absolutely,
have that coming in. So
they definitely keep me and King Curtis in that loop, man, and we can definitely, you know, work something out with that, because you know, one knowledge can, like you said, we can leverage that skill set to help one another, man. I would definitely be interested in that.
And I would definitely encourage you guys to look into white label products too. Anybody that's it, white label. Once you have your brand, they have a white label for every. You know, they have private label, but they have white label too, where you can rent out the main space on the internet. You can rent out a VPN. They have white label for supplements where you put you can put King Cedric's on a brand that's already on a brand that's popping. Like, you know how GNC and a lot of companies already do it. Is they put like GNC brand, or you see that they have companies out there that's willing to let you do the same thing, that same exact supplement that's so popular, like the muscle milk or whatever. You can put King Cedric on that and promote it as, hey, this is King Cedric muscle milk, or this is King. You can have the same.
I never do that.
I'll give you. I'm gonna show you. I got.
Hey,
white label. White label is the way to go.
You guys know how the old ladies, when they jump up in church and start doing that little dance and the beat start dropping in the back. I kind of want to do that when he said what a white label just now.
And a lot of times with
do that, man.
With the white label products, you get to use their back office. You get to use their phone number. You get to put your brand. You get to put your brand on it. But they running like the orders. You know, they'll set up your web page. They'll set out when we off of air. I'll show you. I want to tell you guys about some of the stuff I got going on, and then we let you guys. But white label is way more the way to go. Is because they help you on the back end with the marketing and everything that you promotion you may need, but they allow you to put your brand on it. So that's it. It's a win-win right there, bro. It's like it allows you to form your own. Man. Even though you're not the one manufacturing it, it's still you get the brand. You let them do the hard work, and you can be the face of the company, or you can be the face of your company though, of your company manufacturing they supplement powder, and you know, I know it's big in the fitness industry, bro. They got a ton of white label products that if some of the main supplements that you some of the main supplements that you may already use, brother. I'm sure that and I'll do some research and shoot them to you too. That I'm not in the fitness industry. I'm in a different industry, but I've searched around and seen that they got white label products for everything. So for pretty much everything to it, and it's different from private label. It's white label. You put your because private label you get to you still use you don't get to brand it yourself. You don't get to put your name or your
a private label. I never knew anything about the white label, but I'm
check this out. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna set up a registry. If Lewis, if you're okay with this, we could set up a private group, and anybody who's interested, they can comment and send me your email and stuff like that. And we'll talk about this white label stuff because this group.
Yeah, and I think we should even link it to and Kurt, I think we should even link it to like some type of his Cash App. Maybe like just $5 or something, man. Because him dropping those jewels like that, man.
Right.
That's a small price for the information.
Man, I don't mind. That's what I'm here for, bro. Man, I'm glad. I get my what's from helping people. That's what I'm here for, man. I want to see brothers win. I want because it's out there, but the thing is, you got to go look for it. But once you do, you be like, holy, you know what I mean? Holy, man, it's like, wow, I didn't know. Is this what you do? And you'd never want to work for nobody. It's like, man, okay. Once you know the rules of the game and you know how to play, it's like, okay, now it's like now the tables turn instantly. It's like, okay, now I'm
like Robert number 2, baby.
If y'all want to know more, just comment on the Urban Mastermind University, and what we'll do, we'll set up a Zoom meeting webinar, and we'll discuss the detail and we can fund Lewis for dropping these gems and gold nuggets and stuff like that. Because my main thing with this channel, and matter of fact, you all like and subscribe while you're listening.
Right, definitely like and subscribe.
Right. The main thing of this channel is for us to grow, our community to grow, pass on knowledge. I'm a humble person. I'm like, get this money. Let's get this money. It's not just about me, but it's about empowering each other.
Absolutely. I also wanted to touch on something about entrepreneur too. Why the thoughts still lingering. Like, let me see, how do I want to say it? Entrepreneurship, right? Like it's so powerful because like King Lewis was talked about earlier, there's so many different ways to like create more revenue, for your finances, and to do it outside the realm of exchanging time for money. Because that's been my next goal. Even though I'm working my business, I'm doing what I love, I'm helping people. But my ultimate goal is to do it inside and outside the gym, where I don't always have to exchange time for money, right? But what if I had a product or some type of service? But the cool thing is about that, bigger than more than the money, but the freedom. Like when you are entrepreneur, you get to get up in the morning and meditate and read and listen to music or whatever it is that you like, right? Because I know for me, I can't speak for no one else, but I get my best ideas around 8 to 9 or when I'm in the shower. But 9 times out of 10, I'm at work doing something for somebody else. Well, I might not always do that, but if I had the freedom and the time of being an entrepreneur full time in what I was doing, I can get up in the morning, spend like an hour, meditating and listen to music with my notepad. And when those ideas come, I can just flow in my zone. Right. And I don't got to worry about, do somebody need me to do something, or I got to go to break time, or I got to check this email or make sure the shipment is coming back and forth. So I think entrepreneur, it allows us to tap into that greatness that we all have. But when we doing stuff that we really don't want to do and working for others, and that's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying we're not able to just like tap into those gifts and work on those projects that we might be passionate about. For some women, that might be they into fashion, they love clothes, they love designing things. That might be that time they can get back to just, going to different thrift shops and finding unique pieces for their boutique, or for that guy, man, that's interested in building. He like working on cars. You might be able to go to different parts stores and see about, refurbished parts that people don't know the value of, that you can utilize to build those, restore those cars. But when you got that, when you buy your time, that now you can work on those things that you're passionate about, that makes you feel good inside. And the day goes by so quick because you're doing what you love versus watching the clock all day ready to get off so that you can do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's so rewarding and refreshing at the same time, man.
Right, and employees realize time is a valuable asset. Employers realize time is a valuable asset. That's why they have to trade your time for what they compensate you for. And it's like labor is indispensable. It can be replaced. It's the time that they really, so once you find a way to, because it's only 24 hours in a day, so you don't want to get caught up on, I'm gonna use my time to make money. I say you leverage that, leverage and manage your time to make money. Because if you trade time, especially if that you want to trade time to make money, it's only 24 hours in a day. You need to sleep, spend time with your money. It's not enough hours in a day to do that. Exactly. It's not enough hours in a day to trade your time for money. So the more opportunity you can leverage your time and manage your time to make money, the more opportunities you create, and life would be far more stressful. When they're enjoyable, and that's what I found out is like as opposed to I'm gonna spend my money, I'm gonna spend my time making money. Now I'm trying to find and leverage as many things as I can to manage my time. Yeah. And I don't want to trade labor. I don't want to be physically have to trade labor for time, because it's not enough hours, especially for somebody else. Somebody else caught, because it's not enough hours in the day for that. So
exactly, there's never enough time hours in the day.
That's one thing. A rich person or a poor person, they have the same amount of time, and exactly. You can't add to the time, So time that's what rich people tell you, man. More than anything, I value time, because you can't get in any.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right. I think I had as a brother, he said this a while ago. I didn't mention his name, but he said, if you have a lot of time, you ain't gonna have a lot of money. But he said people with a lot of money don't have a lot of time. So it's just what the tools you're gonna balance. So you got to find that fair balance. You're gonna have to find that fair balance.
Absolutely. But then when you got assets in place, man, and that was the biggest thing I've learned from one of the best books I ever read, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm pretty sure you guys have read it too.
Right.
Where like me, I love nice stuff. I came from real quick background drop, right? Came from like a single parent home. I was the youngest of 3 boys. My mother never made more than I think $10.50 an hour. And I got tired of eating hot dogs 4 days a week and eating spaghetti for 2 weeks at a time. And that's one of the reasons why I did some of the things that I'm not proud of, selling drugs or what have you. But I always knew that this wasn't my life. This wasn't who I am. And I know that just because I didn't come from that environment, that didn't mean that I wasn't able to, be able to do things and be able to help my mother out, right? And so there always gave me like that passion, that drive, man, to be an entrepreneur, or to not. Well, I didn't know what that word meant at that time, but I just knew for me that was not having to worry about nothing and being able to take care of my family. And so whatever way that I was able to do it, I was going to do it, regardless, right or wrong. I'm not proud of it, but I know I had to do something. Go ahead, King.
There's a stigma for brothers that sell drugs, and then the sisters. If you're selling drugs, you already a business owner. You just don't know it. You switch your product. You got to manage your inventory. You got to worry about sales. You got to do. You're doing everything that a business owner do. Marketing. With the exception of running from the police. So that you already a business owner. You just switch your product and apply those same skills that you were using to sell your drugs, and you'll be surprised how successful. And a lot of brothers, you making 100,000, or some of those brothers are making just as much. You know what I mean, as some of these corporations. Ours is a small business anyways. Like, and they just don't know. They may be grossing 5,000, 10,000. You make $200 a day. That's 6,000 a month, 70,000 a year. So here you are running a business that's almost at $100,000 a year business with no degree, no traditional skill set. You can easily replace that product and use those same skills you learned from. You don't take nothing away from. You know what I mean? It's just with the stigma and the stuff that you can just switch the product and apply those same skills that you utilize for whatever product you were selling, and it'll work. And you'll be surprised how applicable, how transferable they are. It's just a different product. So. And you can apply those same skills.
It is, because like a lot of the skills that I learned, I'm not proud of, but it gives me like an edge, right? Because I'm not scared of a no, and I'll keep going to get a yeah. Like I tapped into that. I tapped into that knowledge of people buy from people they trust, man. And so when they trust you, they bring something valuable to the table. They want to buy from you because they know Crypto Curtis bringing that information. They know King Lewis got that backdrop and he got that product, right? They know, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be the person that's going to answer the phone. I'm going to respond back to you timely. I'm going to try my best to be as prompt as possible. And if you cancel on me, it's going to be because of you, and it's not going to be because of me. And so a lot of those things I've actually took from that, kind of rough environment, and like you said, flip the product and change the environment, and now using it to my advantage. So
exactly. That's all you got to do. Exactly. That's all you. Those skills are transferable. You have critical thinking skills as a hustler. You'll be surprised, like so many of the skills you possess inadvertently. You may not have known. Inadvertently, you might have gained them over the years, from finding who your vendor, your supplier, to who you're gonna market it to make sure your inventory managing. It's a lot of stuff that go with that's applicable in the real business sense. So that you can utilize those, make the transition and utilize it. So
what I say for like people starting out, they don't know what to do. They don't have a lot of money. All right. The first thing I would say is get a library pass. If you don't have a dollar, get a library pass. Go to the library, rent out a book, read it, take it back. And because all right, so I just got a book. I bought off eBay. It's the alternative financial medication, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But basically, he's telling you, it's the guy. He's telling you about how to buy peer-to-peer lending. So basically, like, person to have high interest rate on a credit card, or there's this company that can buy their loan or whatnot and charge them a less interest rate. Package for you to invest in it. So they was like, you can invest in 10 different people, $25, and you get returns. It's better than putting your money in a savings account where you get 1%. You can invest in these people. You might get 5-10% off your money, Easy. And so basically it's a book. It's about, I want to say 100 pages. And he's basically telling his story and his experience from going to conferences and going to webinars and learning from people. So just to that 100 pages, you got 3 years of experience right there that you can read on a weekend, and you can gain all the information. And it cost me $15. I bought off of Amazon. It cost me $15. I had no problem spending $15 to gain all his knowledge and implement it. And now he giving me sources of where I can go to learn things. People don't understand that's the a couple McDonald's meals. Exactly. So anybody, the information is out there online. You can get it. People are willing to give you the information. You just have to be willing to receive it.
Absolutely.
If you don't have no money, I say you middleman. Like you said, the opportunity is that you can go on Fiverr, and they have people that offer a ton of different services, from web page design to everything, and a lot of them are from third world countries. And you can take somebody who's gonna build a website for $25, and I can charge you $200, and I can make my start from doing that. Or you can go on eBay, garage sales every weekend. Walkmans, CD players, like old VHS tapes. You'll be surprised how much that stuff. Old starter jackets, like the starter, vintage clothing. You'll be surprised how much that sell on eBay. So you can go to Goodwill, go to your local thrift store.
Back
put down the weed or whatever you have to do, because everybody got something. In America, or you have access to some type of cap. You know what I mean? So you might have to put some aside to take your last 20 or whatever. But there's a world of opportunity right in the palm of your hand, right in your cell phone, right in your whether it's eBay, Amazon, the Fiverr. You don't need no money to start. So don't get me wrong, it'd be easier if you have something to start, but don't let that be an excuse. Don't let that hold you back if you don't have. You can contact the Urban Mastermind. If you really don't have a dime, I can show you how to monetize. You have something that you can do that I can show you that to help you. Man, to help you gain to get the ball rolling at least, and then once the ball start rolling, right? You light the fire under you.
I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. I'm excited. Hey, y'all like, subscribe, and share, comment. And what we're gonna do? We're gonna set up something. We're gonna get Lewis with this mastermind. We're gonna get a registry, and we're gonna dive deep into some information. If y'all tired of the 9 to 5 and you want a way out, we're gonna work together. We're gonna make this happen.
Exactly.
So we passed the
The
hour
Underground
mark.
Railroad.
Right. We passed the hour mark, and what I want is y'all have some closing statement. If y'all want to promote something, now's the time to do it.
All right.
If you like I said,
you, first,
you could feel free to join us.
All right, I'll go.
I have a group on Facebook. I have a group on Facebook called the 1099 Network, and my whole goal is to promote entrepreneurships and light that fire underneath you. I give you the idea that you may not have thought of. It's on Facebook. It's the 1099 Network. You can find it. You're welcome to join, and I have all different kind of. I have speakers from Amazon, from eBay, from affiliate marketing. It's all different. So I'm gonna present the ideas for you to take advantage of. The opportunity is there. Just take advantage of it. So I wish you well, and if you're ready to escape from the plantation, I'm gonna be Louis Tubb and lead you to the Underground Railroad, to prosperity.
There you go. Absolutely.
Thank you for attending.
Cool.
Hey man, I just really want to say thank you guys for giving me the powerful information today. And King Curtis, man, thank you for sharing your platform with me, man, and allowing me to just to share some information. Hopefully I could touch one person or help someone in need. But everybody who's out there who's watching, follow me on Facebook at Cedric. My name is Cedric Washington. My business is Washington Way to Health LLC. And if you need any information about health and wellness and fitness, any supplement reviews, any information you want to know about holistic products as far as like natural herbs, how to reverse diabetes, how to lower blood pressure, how to lose 5 pounds in a week, any information you need in regards to health and fitness, I'm your man. We won't charge. I won't charge you for any and everything. We can work things out. Or if you just need valuable information on in the realm of health, I got your back. Again, that's at Facebook. My name is Cedric Washington. You can also follow me on Instagram at King Cedric Washington. And thank you, man. So I look forward to meeting you guys. And thank you, man, again, for sharing your platform, Kurt.
No problem. And so I'll close on the Urban Mastermind University. So here we get information, we share experiences, we learn, we grow, we build this wealth together. Like, subscribe, share, and I'm gonna continue making videos, and we're gonna continue making this popping. So we're gonna have some more episodes. If you want to chime in on what topics you want, feel free, comment, and we'll get back with you. So I appreciate y'all panelists for dropping these dimes. And until next week, hey, we'll check you out. Peace. Y'all have live your
Peace and love. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, let's get it, man. Black millionaires.
All right, y'all take care.
Thank you for having me. Likewise. Peace and love.